Good evening. My name is Elias Hawthorne, and this is my second entry. Last night was an interesting turn of events, to say the least. I met the man who was stalking me at the Devil's Den as promised. I actually arrived at the bar an hour after it opened, not without absolutely concealing myself. It didn't go unnoticed either, but I paid no mind. These humans have seen a lot in their city life. This is just another day for them. Even Leo was questioning my attire. "Are you allergic to the sun, or something?" he asked, with a playful smirk growing on his face as soon as he recognized me. "I don't want to be recognized by people I may not know," I answer. "That is an odd way of saying you're agoraphobic," he retorts. Nevertheless, I simply dismiss his claim and waited. Now, the stranger specified a time he will be arriving, and I half expected him to arrive shortly after me, but that was not the case. I waited for 4 hours. I am one for planning and going accordingly, not sitting and waiting for something to happen. Thankfully, Leo could tell I was getting bored and irritated, so he humored me as I waited. We talked about some of the other workers there. Marcy, Taylor, Jackson, and Leo being the bartenders. Marcy being the oldest and the most wicked woman. I do not care for her. It's never hard to get on her bad side. Taylor is a sweet young lady who has thick skin and a sharp tongue. Jackson, a man who is decent at his job and still learning the bar. Then the cooks in the back. Margot, Alexander, Tom, and Pam. I don't know them as well as the others. I never see them, except a few times when they've made a mistake or almost forgotten something. The service staff are Marcus, Samuel, Todd, Olivia, Elizabeth, Jennifer, Danny, and Leaf. They're all pretty nice as far as I know. I'm getting sidetracked. At last, the man shows up, spotting me at the innermost corner of the bar counter. Leo noticed him and waved him in. Leo kept up his work, but had also kept an eye on us, knowing the extent that this man had followed me for a while. "Sorry. I would have been here sooner if I hadn't had the last-minute customer," the man spoke, his voice in a low register, rough but not scratchy. "Name's Lawrence Perez, or Larry for short," he introduced, extending a large hand towards me. Hesitantly, I took his hand and shook it. A brow raised on Lawrence's face as our hands connected. "Your hand is freezing. How long have you been here?" "I have been here for 4 hours, I answered, a hint of irritation in my tone. Lawrence chuckled a little at my response. Not exactly what I meant. I withdrew my hand, giving him a suspicious glare. "And what exactly do you mean?" Lawrence glanced around the bar, seeing that no one was listening. He watched Leo for a moment, who was now on the opposite side of the bar tending to a computer, then returned his attention to me. "Do you really trust what I'm about to say will go unnoticed?" I proceeded to look around as well, noting that the other customers were busy minding their own business. It was loud in the bar, but not too loud, where one would have to shout a conversation. I then looked at Leo, who was still overlooking something on the computer behind the bar. As someone who was supposed to be watching this stranger and keeping me safe, he wasn't being perceptive. My attention returned to Lawrence as I gave him a nod. I trusted. Tell me what you think you know. Lawrence straightened up in his stool, leaning in to whisper, I know you're a vampire. I began to laugh, more so out of nerves than actual humor. You must be joking, I stated, forcibly amused. I am not joking. Then what is your evidence? My hands being cold and pale. I saw you murder a woman on the beach, he bluntly told me. You drank her blood, rolled her up in a beach towel, and put her in the ocean. Now, I wasn't exactly myself at the time I saw it happen, but I know for a fact that it did. Lawrence must have sensed my fear as his eyes narrowed at me, reading me almost like an open book. Now, I don't want any trouble. I have a wife at home, and if you think I am here to kill you, know that I am not. How do you expect me to believe you? How do you expect me to just drop the fact that you have been stalking me for almost a month, leaving a cryptic note, and now suddenly knowing something I have only ever told one living person in this era? I questioned harshly. Leo spawned almost out of nowhere. Is everything all right over here? Lawrence watched me. I can tell he was waiting for me to kick him out of the bar. But I only shook my head. I am all right, I forced out. Please, get a drink on me. I think we're going to be here for a while. I then offered Lawrence. The man hesitated, a little surprised, but nodded and ordered a beer. Leo was quick to serve before leaving us to our conversation. So, do you have your answers? I then continued after Leo had left. My wife, Samantha, and I moved into our home 10 minutes away from here about 6 months ago. I am a mechanic at O'Brien's Auto Repair, and she's a kindergarten teacher at Shelton Elementary. When we moved here, we had a sense of something not being quite right. On my first day of work at the shop, I caught the overwhelming scent of clothes and old blood. I asked my boss about it, and he didn't smell anything, not that I really expected him to. He took a sip of his beer, shifting closer just in case. For the longest time, I thought it was some sort of cologne one of my coworkers wore, until I picked it up somewhere else. The park, a clothing store. I couldn't shake it. I've never smelt that scent before. However, one night I wasn't in the right mind, picked it up again, and tracked it. Do you know where I tracked it to? I simply shook my head in response, not really sure where this was going. Lawrence smirked and pointed at me, cup in hand. Your little dinner date on the beach. I now realize that vampires have that distinct smell of old blood, but depending on the person, it's mixed with something else. Like clothes for you, he answered, a slight smirk on his face. You must have a strong sense of smell for a human. To be able to track an unknown being to its location, it's impossible, I state, not believing his ability. Lawrence sighed roughly and took off his varsity jacket, hanging it on the stool back behind him before turning his body towards me. I caught Leo watching curiously, but upon being spotted, he looked away. Lawrence lifted his left t-shirt sleeve, revealing a rather large bite mark with unusual canines and dark veinous lines among the deep indents. It was on his tricep, just before his armpit. I am only guessing that Leo couldn't see it from behind as I spotted him looking again, and he seemed confused before returning to work. This is no ordinary beast bite. This is how I became what I am now. I am growing tired of your cryptic game. Just spit it out. I pushed. Lawrence's eyes then flashed with irritation. Then I heard it. A low, beastly growl. The sound dawned the realization of what I was dealing with. I see now what you're getting at. You're a werewolf. For a vampire, you are stupid, he growled. And for a mutt, you're rather daring to be stalking a vampire, I retorted. Listen, I needed to know more about you to confirm my suspicions, because we have a problem here in this city. If we work together on it, it will be taken care of. He tries to persuade, fixing the sleeve of his shirt and putting his jacket back on. If there is a problem in this city that requires me to trust you, how has it not affected me yet? Where is the danger? I have had no problems living here until you showed up, so I'll advise you this. Next time you have the urge to stalk someone, make sure it is not me, because I won't be as friendly next time you try to approach me after, I threatened. Lawrence glared at me, then scratched at the patch of facial hair on his left side of his jaw. Fine, but don't expect me to save your ass if you end up in trouble, he huffed as he stood up from the bar stool and left. Once the man left and the door closed behind him, Leo walked over with a concerned expression. You alright? Kinda looked like a bad breakup, he stated, attempting to lighten my mood. Yes, everything is fine. You shouldn't be a problem anymore, I answered. So, if you don't mind me asking, what happened? What was on his arm? Leo then quizzed, leaning on the counter. It doesn't matter. You couldn't hear us. Nope. I couldn't hear a thing. But I kept an eye on you. It looked like it got worse and worse. Are you sure you're all right? Leo responds, looking to the door, then back to me. I run a hand through my hair, settling as though taking a breath. I'm fine. Well, if you're ever in danger, or just need a place to crash if you think you're being stalked again, you know where I am. You have my number, right? Leo offered, reaching for his phone from his back pocket. I believe I do, I answer without bothering to check. I knew I had it. He was one of my only contacts, except my therapist. Yep, I got yours, he confirmed with a smirk, showing me. I glance and nod. I appreciate the offer, I really do, I tell, giving him a soft smile in return. I should leave. I need time to clear my head, I then add, moving to grab my wallet. Leo waved his hand in dismissal. Don't worry about it. It's just a beer. Very well. I'll see you soon. Have a good rest of your evening, Leo. I spoke as I got up to leave. You have a better one, Elle, Leo gave, waving as I left. That was it. I don't think Lawrence will be a problem, but